you're not comfortable with the routine. Once you get in the swing of it, swinging back and forth real easily. Once you get into the swing of it, you're comfortable with the routine. Everything is easy for you if you're in the swing of it. Now, when I go back home 2 weeks from now, I'll be all messed up again. It'll take me about a week. It'll take me about a week to get into the swing of it again. Okay? Idiom. So when we say we're in the swing of it, we're not literally swinging back and forth. We're just comfortable with the routine. That's what it means. Okay? Okay, now what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little bit of review. A little bit of review with our tenses, verb tenses, and then we're going to use different verb tenses to express time, to make comparisons of time. I'll show you what I mean. I'll show you what I mean. Okay? Now, we're going to use the present tense and the past tense in the same sentence to show repeated actions, 2 actions that follow one another. Now, we'll need to review our tenses. We know present tense, right? Present tense means the action is happening right now. I am teaching. You are learning. Present tense. Past tense shows something that has happened in the past. Yesterday, I taught English. Yesterday, you learned English. Past tense. Past tense happens, and we're talking about an action that happens in the past. Present perfect is one of those tenses that we sort of combine present and past. With present perfect, we're showing something that has just recently been completed. Just recently been completed. For example, in this sentence, Sarah, which is an English name, Sarah has volunteered at the food distribution center, where they hand out food to refugees and so on. So Sarah has just volunteered at the food distribution center. John has just eaten breakfast. I have just ridden the Songtao to the Wat. So it means that the action is over, but it just is very recently over. We're expressing the recency of the action with the present perfect. Okay? Now, when we use present perfect, oftentimes we put in the word just. We put in the word just. And that gives us a little more emphasis about the recency of the action. So we could say, Sarah has volunteered at the food distribution center. We could also say, Sarah has just volunteered at the food distribution center. It means the same thing, but if we put in just, it gives it a little bit more emphasis about the fact that it has just happened. It's recent. Now, we also have another tense that you don't use very much, but it actually is very useful in spoken English. It's called the present perfect continuous. That term is not so important. I think once you learn the difference here, the grammar terms remember those so much, but you will remember the actual use of the term. So here, Sarah has been volunteering at the food distribution center. What this means, what the present perfect continuous tense means, is that the action has happened in the past and it has just recently happened, but it is also continuing to happen. So we would say that Sarah has been volunteering at the food distribution center. I have been teaching you English. That is the present perfect. You have been learning English. That is present perfect continuous, because you have done it in the past, you have done it in the past recently, and you still are. Okay, present perfect continuous. So are you pretty confident with these tenses? Would you like some more examples of how we use them? Past tense or present tense? I drink my coffee. I'm doing it right now. I drank my coffee. Past tense. I just drank my coffee. Present perfect. I have been drinking coffee. Okay. Yeah. Now, this exercise is going to make you think hard, okay? Because you have shown me over the weeks that I've been with you that you're very clever students, and you try very hard. You try very hard. So instead of just doing the same things over and over and over again, I want to get you to where you are improving your language skills. So we can combine words. And we can combine phrases with these tenses, present and past and present perfect continuous. We can combine these words to show how often something happens. Words like once, which means one time, twice, which means two times, several times, which is several means at least three, but and it's indefinite. It could be 4, it could be 5, it could even be 6 maybe. If it gets more than 6 or 7 or 8, then we don't say several, we say many times. Many times means more than several, but it's indefinite. It's not precise. Okay. Those are words that we use and phrases that we use to indicate the number of times. We also have phrases that express time, such as a week, which in the Western calendar is 7 days. Each month, meaning once every month. So far, do you know what that means? We have been studying English so far. Next week, I thought we'd study, Arabic. But so far, we've been studying English. It means that up to this point, up to now, we have been studying English so far. Until now? Until now, we've been studying English. Next week, we're going to study German. Last year, now you all have been studying English for quite some time. So last year you were studying English. And you still are studying English. Several years ago, you began studying English. Long ago. you started studying English. All year, you study English. Okay? Those are phrases we use. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to combine words that express number. We can combine this with time expressions. For example, I could say several times each month we gather to study English. So you can combine a phrase that indicates the number of times with a phrase that indicates a length of time to give the person you're speaking with a more clear understanding of how often something happens and how long something is happening. And we can also put that with a different tense. So let me show you. And I'm just going to practice a couple of them, and then we'll give it a go ourselves. That's an idiom. We'll give it a go. Idiom. Give it a go. So, Sarah volunteers at the food distribution center. That's the main clause. Now, Sarah volunteers, present tense, right? See, we're in present tense. Sarah volunteers at the food distribution center once a week. Sarah volunteers, present tense,